Debbie Lesko to the center
Oh,
ring of the Conservative Circus. And Congresswoman Lesko, this weekend you tweeted out, why is President Biden more worried about the safety and security of other countries than protecting the American people? That's a good question. I have a question. Do your colleagues seem worried about it, or are they focused on just protecting other countries' borders instead of our own?
well, Republicans are worried about it, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. You know, Republicans here in the U.S. House of Representatives have already passed a bill back in May that will help secure the border by restating some of the Trump policies. It's just that the Democrats have a long history of just wanting to help illegal immigrants. And so, you know, when Obama was the president, remember back in Arizona,
yes.
when I was in the state legislature, I voted for and co-sponsored SB 1070 to help because the federal government wasn't securing the border. Now Texas is doing a similar type of bill, and it continues now with Biden as a Democrat president. They don't want to secure the border, and you have people from all over the world coming into our country, 169 people in last fiscal year on the terrorist watch list that they caught, people from China, people from the Middle East. This is a real national security threat, and it's just unconscionable to me that these Democrats don't want to secure our border.
It's amazing to me that we are actually having this conversation in light of what we're watching on a daily basis happening right here in Arizona. Now, the White House, they want Republicans to compromise on the border. What exactly does it want to negotiate? I mean, they're trying to get us to send money to Ukraine. Thankfully, we haven't done that so far. But what's in it for us? Why will we negotiate?
Well, you know, Biden's talking about securing the border, and Katie Hobbs, our governor, quite frankly, when they say they want to secure the border, all they want is more money to process more illegal immigrants. Like Katie Hobbs recently reacted to the Lukeville, Arizona port of entry being closed and basically said, we want that back open, which I want back open too, but I also want the border secured, and she just wants more money to process and house all these illegal immigrants. Katie Hobbs, I served with her in the state legislature. She has a long history of voting against border security legislation that Republicans pushed when we were in the legislature. And, you know, I guess some of the Democrats are coming to the political reality that they better say something about securing the border. But you're right. We're going to stand strong here in the U.S. House of Representatives. Republicans are demanding border security policy, not just money to process more illegal immigrants if the Democrats want Ukraine funding.
You know, of course, you both were in the legislature at the same time. You're talking about Governor Katie Hobbs, and I thank you for reminding us that even then she was against border security. She was for, well, for lack of a better term, open borders. It really is two ways of looking at the country. If Republicans don't hold firm, I mean, at least, if we reelect Trump, I think all of this comes to an immediate end. I think that's why they're just letting it go completely. But if the Republicans don't hold firm here, I mean, Katie by the door, it can only get, people think it can't get worse, but it can get much worse, can't it?
Oh, it definitely can get worse. I mean, you see, there's people, let's say in December of this year, so this month, over 24,000 Chinese illegal immigrants were encountered at our southern border in fiscal year 23, and compared to 15,000 over the past 10 years combined. I mean, people don't realize these are just like some innocent, not everybody is just some innocent people coming over from Mexico for more work. These are people from all over the world, and there's just too many of them, so we can't vet them properly. They don't use their legal names, so we have no way of processing them. Who knows who the heck is in our country? Meanwhile, millions of U.S. citizens are paying for this. Our taxpayer dollars are paying for this, billions of dollars to support illegal immigrants. And you know, this is just lunacy, absolute lunacy. And I hope people that are on the fence about who they're going to vote for, whether they're going to reelect Biden or they're going to reelect a Republican president, they need to realize that only electing a Republican president will stop this insanity.
I think that you're absolutely correct about that, and I'm hoping that the American people are waking up to it. There's some indicators out there that they are. You have said that the administration has lost its mind. I think there's there's great truth to that. But I think that what we're seeing, what you saw with Governor Hobbs in the legislature, what we're seeing with Biden even back in 2010, this is being done to us on purpose. They are working their plan out, and so far it is succeeding. So I have to ask, do the Republicans in Washington, D.C., your colleagues, do they see this as a plan that they have to thwart, or do they just see this as bad policy?
Well, we see it as both bad policy and a plan by the Democrats that we have to thwart. We have to secure our border, not only for our national security, because we don't know who's all coming over our border. We've already caught people on the terrorist watch list. How many people have we not caught? There's fentanyl flooding over our border, killing Americans. But also, it's a humanitarian crisis. You know that there's reports now that they're selling body parts of illegal immigrants that are coming across the border. They're raping women. They're raping children. You know, there's a reason that the human smugglers, which are the cartels are operating the border. They're channeling these people to Lukeville, Arizona, out in the middle of nowhere, because they know there wasn't enough border agents there. So that's why they had to close down the Lukeville port of entry. And now, like, legitimate travel, whether it's for vacation to Rocky Point or business travel, has to be rerouted by like 2 to 3 hours to different ports of entry. But they had to do it because there's so many people flooding over the border, and they just don't have the manpower to process these people. It's just, I don't understand why President Biden and the Democrats don't see this as a national security threat. I mean, they complain about it, but all they want is more money.
Congresswoman, I think they do see it. I think they do see it as a national threat. I really do believe, and I know this sounds crazy, but I believe that they hate the country as it is, and they don't care what happens to it. Want to thank Congresswoman Debbie Lesko for being in the Century and still keeping the pressure up on these on the Democrats who are doing this to us. But you know what? There is a